nor particularly gold, to be honest. In fact, stormy would be a better word. Not so much today, but the next 2 days, with gusts on Friday and Saturday in England and Wales in particular, easily gale force and possibly worse than that. More in a second. Let's just cover the rest of today first of all, because today and the next 2 stormy days will all be relatively mild. The temperatures of 11 to 13 degrees are still there. The breeze is picking up, admittedly, and because it's so mild, it's therefore at this time of the year pretty moist. A grey start, and you heard overnight rain in Cheltenham. Well, it wasn't alone. Only recently the skies parted to allow a bit of sunshine into Bristol, and I hope that happened in Cheltenham as well, but it is only a brief parting of the skies, I'm afraid, before it closes in again. And the sun's never likely to show itself on the eastern side of England, or not for any length of time. It's still pretty grey here. And the band of rain currently just about to hit Bristol and Cheltenham will be lying through central England and Scotland for the rest of today. It has improved in Northern Ireland. We should see some sunshine in Wales before the end of the day, but pretty heavy showers are likely to follow into Northern Ireland, Western Scotland, and you may well hear thunder. But that's today. Now, I did say 2 stormy days coming up, and the storms are gathering already. Quite a long way out in the Atlantic, but it's this arch of cloud here. It's a sort of a little spinner. That's the driving force, and round the bottom of this thing, this low will spin up into a storm for tomorrow, so that's tomorrow's storm, followed on Saturday by this one, driven in. The isobars are getting closer and closer, so the winds are picking up. That is something of a concern. It's been so benign recently. Not just the wind, clearly there'll be rain as well. Throughout Scotland, England and Wales it'll be wet tomorrow morning, but the strongest winds will be through England and Wales, probably the south. The afternoon will still see it windy, but at least the rain will have gone to show some sunshine. Northern Ireland ought to just about avoid the worst of this, showers in the afternoon. But let us focus on the winds, because although most of the time they'll be gusting severe gale, which is nasty, I know, but not necessarily too damaging, there's about a 40% risk that these counties could see gusts over 70. Most likely on the coast, but not necessarily. My colleagues will keep you up to date. The repeat performance on Saturday takes the strength of the winds through Wales and probably northern England, maybe the borders of Scotland. The same sort of potential for maybe a little bit of structural damage. And the weather on Saturday is a bit of a write-off anyway, along with the strength of the wind. There's rain still. Temperature's still up, mind you. Any compensation? Probably not. Northern Scotland does pretty well, I have to say. If you want to go somewhere quiet this weekend, that's the place to go. On Sunday, a different complexion, less wind, sunshine and showers.
Some, I must admit, rather unexpected. But we did have the strong winds. We have seen gusts up to 80 miles an hour. We've had torrential rain. What we didn't bargain for is there was a fair bit of snow, actually, across some southern parts of Scotland, as well as hilly areas. Now, the bad weather's all been brought by this area of low pressure. It zipped across the borders during the course of the morning. It's now out of the way into the North Sea, but it's leaving behind a legacy of a fair number of showers, as well as those gale force winds. We still have winds gusting up to 71 miles an hour in the northeast of England, 50 or 60 miles an hour in many other places as well. The winds will ease down a little bit, but they're never going to completely die away. It's going to be a windy spell right the way through the rest of this afternoon, overnight tonight, and into tomorrow. Still some gusts of 60 miles an hour or so in places, and to begin with, in the north of England and North Wales, even up to 70 miles an hour. Now, the good news at the moment is that those winds are coming in from the southwest, so it is relatively mild, but as time goes on and we head later into the weekend, into the first part of next week, the winds go round to the northwest and then the north, so I think we're going to find that spring may be put on hold in a few days' time. So here comes all the rain. It's swept in during the night, turned to snow, as I said, in parts of Scotland. That rain now is moving out of the way, allowing these blustery showers to follow in from the northwest. Still raining across East Anglia, southernmost parts of England, but that too will clear, I think, in the next few hours. Then for many sheltered eastern and central parts, it shouldn't be a too bad end to the day, despite the fact that it's going to be very windy. But a fair number of blustery showers coming into those northern and western areas. Some of them are going to be heavy. Could well be some hail and thunder, and those showers still wintry over the hills. It is reasonably mild when you look at the numbers, but I think with all that wind, certainly not feeling that way. Now, a bit of a brief respite tonight between 2 weather systems, so some clear skies and a fine evening, but not lasting all that long. More wet and windy weather sweeping up from the southwest during the night. Again, that rain may be preceded by some sleet and snow over those northern hills, perhaps even at lower levels as well, and a little bit of a clearance coming into some central parts at the end of the night. Relatively mild in most places, could just about manage a touch of frost for a time in that clear weather ahead of the next band of rain. Then tomorrow we're going to keep some cloud and outbreaks of rain in southernmost counties, the rain very slowly clearing away from Scotland and northernmost parts, and then in between it's a case of blustery showers, another quite windy day too. It remains windy through Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be a case of sunshine and showers. The showers quite blustery and becoming increasingly wintry, especially in the north. Back to Darren.
Noticed the winds, and they have been tremendously strong, with, I'm sure if you saw on the news, some damage. These are just things I've picked out. Both road and rail was affected, trees down, a whole building was blown down somewhere in the Midlands. Well, the winds are still strong, but no longer to that strength. The gusts will still be around about the 50-mile-an-hour mark, I think, throughout the night, with near gale force steady winds. So we're not going to worry about a frost, and it will still be windy. Now, that wind's been blowing in showers in the last few hours, and it'll keep doing that overnight and tomorrow morning. And they're coming in on a westerly wind. They'll hit something like the Pennines and stop. So a good part of eastern Scotland and eastern England, the Welsh Marches and the eastern side of Northern Ireland might see very few showers during tomorrow. They'll get across sometimes, particularly in the afternoon, but it'll be sunshine in between. The tops of the Pennines and also I think the Highlands of Scotland and Snowdonia could well turn white as a result of the slowly decreasing temperatures. Not a bad day though for the Six Nations match tomorrow in Edinburgh. I think Murrayfield ought to stay dry and the wind nothing like as strong as that match in